In the last video, we saw the baby giant crimson bear fall into Sejun's cave because he was startled when the tower manager tried to shoo it away. Sejun caught the bear cub, and even though the manager told him to send it out immediately, he decided to keep the bear cub with him for one day. The manager told him that it was not a good idea to keep a baby crimson bear near food as it would eat everything, and even issued a quest to send him back. But Sejun got upset at her. The manager let him do whatever he wanted, but when the bear cub really ate 1/3 of their total food storage while they were sleeping, Sejun and the rabbits were furious and realized their mistake. The bear cub had almost doubled in size in one night, and the manager tells him that crimson bear cubs are the biggest gluttons in the world and can eat 100 kilos of food each day. Sejun then remembers the manager's quest, and with the help of onion leaf ropes and the rabbits and bees, he is able to send the bear cub outside the cave after pacifying him with a bit of honey. The quest is completed, and the reward is the skill seed gathering that increases the chance of obtaining better seeds from crops. But a few days after the baby bear was dropped home by the rabbits, he returns, and this time he returns with his mom, the giant crimson bear who once almost killed him during a blue moon. As Sejun looks up at the entrance to find the bear cub and his mom, he is afraid, and so are his rabbit friends. He wonders what reason the crimson bear mom has to come to his cave, and as he thinks that she might be here to eat him, he panics. He is sweating profusely as he imagines the mama bear angrily picking him up and saying, how dare he kidnap her child for one full day. She won't forgive him and eat him while he is helpless against her. Sejun wonders if he really will die here without seeing the faces of his family one last time. He gets down on his knees as he begs the mother bear to let him go since he is not tasty because the only thing he eats is tomatoes. She is confused, and then the tower manager relays her message to Sejun, saying that she does not plan to harm or threaten him. Sejun is shocked and asks the manager if she understood what the bear was saying, and after affirming, the manager gives him the reason why the bears were here. The mama bear wants him to give her honey to feed her cub. Sejun is a bit confused and takes some time to process that the bear mom is not here for herself but for her kid. And as she growls loudly, the black rabbit shuts his ears. The manager says that the mother bear was saying she was going to protect the surrounding area in return for honey, and then she stretches her palm to the floor of the cave. Now Sejun is relieved, and his rabbit friends are also happy, and he tells the giant crimson bear that he will give her honey. The tower manager tells him to get on the mama bear's paw, and he obeys. Then the giant bear slowly takes him up and outside the cave, and as Sejun looks back at his farms inside the cave, he gets nostalgic. He thanks his crops that have been growing well inside the cave all this time and have been sustaining him. The reason he is so sentimental is because he thinks he is finally getting out of the place to see the tower, and he is excited to see the true world that was outside his little cave. As he comes out, he is momentarily stunned by the bright light. But as he gets used to it, he sees an amazing sight. He exclaims as he sees the expanse of the tower, with a giant glowing tower in the center and a vast mountain range stretching from it to his place. He was so far away from the central tower that it appeared as if the mountains were quite tiny, and from this distance, they looked mostly barren to him. Sejun is still dazed by the magnificent scene, and he asks if this vast area is really inside the tower. But then his attention goes to the central tower and the glowing beam coming out of it that pointed straight to the sky, and he wonders what it was. The tower manager tells him that it was a waypoint, and Sejun is shocked to hear that. A waypoint was the only device that allowed hunters to move between the floors of the tower. It was in the form of a giant magic crystal placed inside a stone configuration. Sejun finally sees a ray of hope to get out of the tower using the waypoint, as he would first get to the first floor and then exit the tower to go into the real world. He is overjoyed, but then reality hits that going there will not be easy, as he is thinking about whether he should cross the wilderness to reach there. The baby crimson bear is asking his mom to let his friend down. She puts him down, and Sejun thanks her as the baby bear runs to him and hugs him. He is still thinking about the waypoint and realizes that, with a normal human walking speed, it is impossible to cover that distance. So as he holds the bear cub, he asks its mom if she could take him to the beam by any chance. The mama bear says something, and the tower manager interprets it as her refusal. Sejun wants to know why, and the manager tells him that the waypoint or the area before that was not her territory. If Sejun wants to get to the waypoint, he will have to defeat about 3,000 monsters to get there. Now that he knows that there are monsters on his way to the device, he realizes it would not be easy getting there, even with help. Then the mama bear points to the forest on the other side of the cave, and the tower manager interprets it as her saying that her territory is from inside the forest to the surrounding cave. Most monsters from inside the forest don't come here because this place leads to the wilderness, and the mother bear says that it might be hard for her to protect Sejun if he leaves her territory. Sejun realizes this and is a little disheartened when his rabbit friends and Queen Poison Honeybee come out of the cave. The black rabbit has brought his backpack, and Sejun thanks him as the queen bee reaches his shoulder. The baby bear hugs the black rabbit, who is initially startled, but then he pats its head happily. The mama bear is saying something to Sejun, and as she exhales loudly, he feels a strong gust of warm wind, and the queen honeybee hides behind him. On the ground, the bear cub is licking his friend. Sejun understands what she means this time, and he takes out the bottle of honey from his bag. He tells the bear cub that it is time to eat honey, and he immediately turns to Sejun after covering the black rabbit's face in drool. Sejun gives him the honey as his eyes sparkle with excitement, and he starts to eat it with everyone watching. Sejun then asks the mama bear if she also wants to have some more honey, and the queen bee is even more timid now. The tower manager relays the mother bear's message that she is fine and wants the farmer to give the honey only to her cub. She says that there was nothing to eat in this place, and that is why her cub has not been growing well. But he grew up a lot in the one day he was in the cave, and as Sejun thinks about that day, he is upset along with the bee. He thinks that the bear cub grew a lot because it ate a lot and almost finished their stored crops for good. Then the mama bear says that the honey was really sweet smelling, so it will help a lot, and now the queen bee is shy on receiving the compliments. Then Sejun asks the mother bear if there was nothing to eat in the forest, did she starve herself today? He had heard from the tower manager that giant crimson bears eat a lot, and if the kid could not have much food, she would also not have much. The mother bear replies that she has been starving for 3 days to find this cave, and Sejun is shocked. He says that 3 days is a lot, and even though her baby was more important to her, moms shouldn't act this way. He says that this will not do and asks her to wait for a moment as he gives the black hunter rabbit an urgent order. The rabbit is also excited, but not as excited as Sejun, who plans to show the mama bear his skills as a chef. Inside the cave, the black rabbit hunts down fish, while the sickle rabbit chops carrots into small parts so that Sejun can use them in his cooking. He cooks the carrots, onions, tomatoes, and fish in a delicious stew, and as he tastes it, he says that it is complete and perfect. He has not only prepared a lot of stew for the mother bear, but also roasted skewers of fish and onions, whole roasted fish, and vegetables too. The giant crimson bear is a bit confused about it, but her cub is already drooling, and as Sejun explains that the stew was a bit basic in ingredients, it was full of taste and nutrition, and the baby bear has already started eating. Sejun tells the mother bear that she should also eat well so that her baby grows up healthy and well protected. And now she is also drooling. She is emotional and suddenly puts her paws around Sejun and the 2 rabbits that just helped him, and then hugs them. The bear hug is really too much for them to bear, and Sejun and the rabbits cry out in pain. The tower manager is also watching this from the office and relaying the message of the mother bear thanking the tower farmer to Sejun, who cannot breathe. The manager sighs, saying that she had been watching over the bear family ever since the bear cub left the cave a few days ago because she was worried that the baby bear would call its mom to attack the cave. The manager does not know why, but the crimson giant bear wants to establish friendly relations with humans, and since she thought it was a good thing, she stepped up and told the mother bear that she would act as an interpreter. She did not expect the situation to turn out like this either. The tower manager is glad that now she will have more to eat if Sejun comes out of the cave and increases his field. She thinks that if the giant crimson bear becomes his bodyguard, she will have one less thing to worry about, and it would be like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And then she praises herself, saying that this was to be expected of the genius black dragon alien Furtani, and laughs happily. Meanwhile, on the middle floors of the tower, in the Wandering Merchant Inspector Bureau, the Fox Inspector Zerath is reading a report on Theo. The information is missing, especially because Theo was a beginner wandering merchant, and his rights were protected by the tower. So the only thing Zerath knows is that he is from Granner Village and trades mostly with humans on the lower floors, and his sources have not been confirmed yet. The same goes with Scaram, who also did not seem to be a skilled merchant, but he was still steadily making money without disclosing his supply channel. Now Zerath is confused about how Scaram and Theo earned so much money, and he finds it suspicious. Then suddenly, a poodle assistant enters the office to present a report about the burglary incident at the Great Landlord Grid's warehouse on the 55th floor. The stolen goods were recently making their way back to the black market in small batches, and she was here to deliver the report of the stolen items that the director had asked her to make. Zerath is not impressed that he has to solve a case involving Landlord Grid, who was notorious for being vicious and overcharging the peasants. He complains that their inspection bureau has to step in to solve cases for people with such nasty personalities, and he wants the director to be less chummy with such people. But then another of Zerath's subordinates comes to report that they got information from one of their agents managing the passageway that a wandering merchant by the name of Theo had just arrived on the 75th floor. Zerath was waiting for this and gets up, leaving the current report on hiatus until the matter with the cat merchant was solved. He puts on his hood, determined to find out the truth behind the wandering cat merchant while putting his honor as an inspector online. Meanwhile, unaware of the troubles coming for him, Theo is just busy eating some snacks in the market. With this, the video ends. The interaction with the mother bear went much better than what Sejun could have imagined, and now, as the tower manager hopes, he can really develop farms outside the cave too with the help of a strong bodyguard. Also, Zerath and his obsession with Theo, who disrupted a months-long investigation, may reach some conclusions soon, so let us wait till we find out what happens. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment to tell us what you liked the most. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.